Yes, we're back. We're back in Plat. It took me long enough, let's be real. I just haven't had the drive to play Master Duel. It's hard to play DM without Dragoon, not gonna lie. And there's a bunch of new Master Duel DM creators, content creators that I have to recommend to you guys. So without further ado, let's look at the deck list that I used to get there. I've opted for a completely different route. So we're still on the 2 Dark Magician though. If you play 3, that's absolutely fine. We've got double Effect Veiler here, triple Magician Souls, pretty stock standard. Triple Max C, card's very good. I wish I could play it in TCG, lol. Triple Magician's Rod, nothing new there. Triple Ash Blossom, because, you know, people play Max C and ashing stuff's good. 1 Ecclesia. 1 Dark Magician Girl, 2 Apprentice Illusion Magician, 2 Nibiru, 1 Monster Reborn, 2 Upstart, 1 Bond with the Dark Burning Magic package, if you want to call it that, 1 Magicalized Fusion, 2 Village, which I just bricked on in that game, 1 Salvation, Double Circle, we already spoke about this, Triple Soul Servant, very good card, Secrets of 1, good ratio, and 1 Punishment, double Eternal Soul. So a lot of people might be asking, where's Skill Drain? Where's Torrential? Well, I got sick of losing to Duster, guys. I got dusted and lightning stormed so many times. I went to locals, I got lightning storm and dusted. I played online, I was just sick of losing to blowout cards. It really does piss you off when you play a deck that's like control based. And you know, you invest all your time into generating resources and resource management and, you know, thinking about your plays, and then someone goes, Unga Bunga Duster. And like, hey, I do that too. I play a lot of dumb OTK decks like Numeron and Grand Marju where I am the Unga Bunga man, but yeah, being on the receiving end is just nowhere near as fun, is it? I opted for a deck that, if I get dusted, it's not the end of the world. So the only cards that I would set turn 1 generally are like Punishment or Eternal Soul, and not half the time, some of the time I will open up Village, which means I'm not getting my board wiped, and if my opponent is playing a spell-heavy deck, which you'll notice there's a lot of decks on ladder that are quite spell-heavy, besides Eldritch, this card can give you a free win. Now, unfortunately, the skill drains that I was playing, the imperms I was playing, the torrential tributes, those cards are great against like normal decks, but Eldritch was everywhere on ladder and Drytron was everywhere on ladder, and they just weren't doing enough, unfortunately. Well, for Drytron it was more you can't play second against that deck, you just lose without playing hand trap. So I swapped my build out to beat the meta decks essentially, and why that is Max C. If I see Max C, it means I'm going to draw into Effect Veiler Ash or my Nibiru, which means I'm either going to be able to hand trap them if they're about to OTK, or just create a board that's too big for me to deal with. Or if that's not the case and they just pass after a couple of summons, cool, I've hopefully drawn into enough resources to get going. Now, I just want to say this is not an optimized build yet. I think I need to play Nadir Servant, even though it's at 1, it's just that good of a card. And I would like to be playing 1 Dogmatica Fleur-de-Lis, because it's just such a generic extender, especially when we've got Artemis, like, it's just really good. And it's a very beefy spellcaster. That when you swing with it, it goes up to 3k, so you do like to see that. You don't like to see it, you love to see it. Now let's get on into the extra deck. You see we got the 1 Elder Entity Natis. This is to be sent off your punishment, and yes, it is pretty good. Dark Magician the Dragon Knight makes a return. I think I caught him in my last list, but he's definitely back. The games where you do summon him, you do kind of auto-win, and that's great. The Dark Magician's honestly my go-to fusion for Master Duel, which is weird because I always talk shit about this card in TCG, but it's honestly just the only fusion we can summon with ease, and sometimes it can unbrick those hands. Sometimes you open Dark Magician Girl, and you get secrets, and it just fixes everything, right? Quintet, this is definitely the card that wins me like a lot of games, like more games than it should. So many games I'll just be like, oh, I have 5 spellcasters engraved with different names, or like, oh, I don't really have a way to out this board, but I could just make Anaconda and summon this. And it's kind of like a last resort play. You make this play when you're like, I have no other way to go for game, or to like do style point stuff. But honestly, I really like Quintet. While there's no like Dragoon in Master Duel, this card definitely kind of fits our position of just a big boss monster that comes out and wins you the game. I have lost after summoning this against Sky Striker because they steal it with Widow Anchor and shit, and that's really annoying. I'm not used to that because I'm like, it can't be targeted. Oh, that's Dragoon. And that is frustrating. But, yeah, Quintet can still be targeted, unfortunately. It doesn't say anything in its text about not being targeted. It can't be tributed or used as fusion material or destroyed by card effects, which are all great effects, mind you. Just, I'm used to Dragoon not being targeted, which is very big. So anyway, onto the Xyz. These probably come up the least, and that's why there's less of them than before. Even in Master Duel, I struggle to summon the Xyz. Sometimes turn 1, if you do open Magician Souls, where are you? Magician Souls with Apprentice, you can Magician Souls out the Dark Magician Girl and discard to summon Apprentice, go into Naruto, and then from there, you just have a spell Trap Negate, which is really nice. And if it survives a turn and comes back, you can go up into your Ebon and even up into your Zeus, which is why it's in here. It's in here just in case, but I haven't made Zeus in probably the last 10 to 20 duels, I want to say. Maybe that's wrong, but it's been a while. Ironically, I've been summoning Quintet a lot more lately. I don't know why that is, but yeah. Link Spider still here doing what you love. I'm Duck still here doing what you love. Just putting that Dark Magician back in the bin, or it's linking away to create... Remember, Link Spider's an Earth, I'm Duck is a Wind, which means we're all getting different attributes into the graveyard for our access code play. Remember that Celine does revive a spellcaster. Normally the spellcaster you want to revive is Dark Magician. And you might think, well then, how do I get to access code? Well, of course, Link Spider and I'm Duck are effect monsters, and you're just going to link away that Dark Magician into one of these, and then you've set yourself up with an Earth or a Wind attribute in the grave, so you'll have more banishes for access code. It's super good. Artemis, she's still here, she's still amazing. If you do open Magician's Rod with Ecclesia, the Artemis play just works so well because you not only get to do the Rod search, you get to do the Ecclesia search, and that just feels really good to have, you know, Rod into Ecclesia grabbing punishment. That is nutty. Hulk makes a return. I think I cut it in my last list, but it's back. So because all of the hand traps I'm playing, well, besides Max C and Nibiru, they are tuners, and Monster Reborn. A lot of the times I just Monster Reborn a hand trap in my opponent's graveyard, and it's a tuner, and then cool, I can make a Hulk play. Monster Reborn also doubles up as being one of the cards that does help you make the Xyz, but once again, this is not, you don't have to play this. I'm not playing Called by the Grave for some reason. I just haven't crafted them. I don't know why. They're ultra... I was going to say, if they're super rares, I'll make them right now, but they're ultra rares. It does make sense why I don't have them, but I probably should have them in here. Called by the Grave is really good because obviously you want your hand traps to resolve, and you want to negate your opponent's Maxis and Ashes and stuff like that. But also... this card wins the Eldritch matchup, which can be quite an annoying matchup. Banishing that Golden Lord can confirm your victory, at least in the early game, till they get to another one. And then if you got Circle banished by then, you win the matchup. And if they're playing 3 Golden Lord, then they're stupid. Back to the extra deck, 1 Anaconda. This Anaconda puts in work because that's half of the time how I get to... actually, it's 90% of the time how I get to the Quintet play. Not to say I go into it 90% of the time, just when I do make the Quintet play, because Anaconda just lets you do it, you know. At any point in the duel, you can just send this from your deck to the grave. So it's really nice, really nice. Love you, Anaconda. Black Luster Soldier. I feel like when you summon this card, you're kind of in a good position anyway, but it is nice to just get it out and kind of, you know, swing at your opponent, kill a monster, boost up, or banish a card. Like, it's a really solid card. I wish it said it couldn't be destroyed by card effects, so when Eternal Soul pops, it wouldn't die. Unfortunately, it just says can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, which is a little detail I wish was different, but that's okay. Celine is still here. You gotta play her, guys. You gotta play her. She can revive any of your deck spellcasted. Reviving Magician Souls and then sending cards to draw is nice. Reviving Dark Magician while circles up is nice. And then, of course, she goes into Access Code, which wins you, like, a lot of games going second. We do kind of struggle going second. That's why I've opted to play more stuff like Hulk. I felt like my deck on ladder struggled to go second, right? Skill Drain, amazing card, wins you so many games. But then I just verse all these meta decks and just lose and lose and lose. And I hate being a die roll deck. I hate being a die roll deck. So instead, I went for the hand traps. I know some people might not like that. Some people will be like, oh, I want to play traps. I want to play, you know, control. This is still control, guys. Don't think this isn't control. Just the traps, instead of setting them and getting dusted, the traps are in my hand. Now, because the traps are in my hand, they're not quite as powerful as, say, Skill Drain. They're not as powerful as Ice Dragon's Prison. I can say, through my research, it feels a whole lot better getting dusted when I just have Dogmatic Punishment set and maybe a circle or two, instead of losing, you know, my entire back row and then being like, well, I may as well scoop at this point. So yeah, I'm really liking all of the new additions. All the hand traps are doing really well. And if you do see Max C, it's great because it ensures your opponent either doesn't play or they play too much and you just draw too many cards and win. I had a game where I drew about 10 to 12 cards off Max C and I still didn't draw like decent-ish cards. I could make plays, don't get me wrong, but like a lot of my hand was still like questionable. It was like I drew all the techs. It was like I drew Bonds, Magical Eyes, Double Village, Dark Burning, Soul Servants, all the upstarts. I was like, this is so weird. Like, obviously it was fine, I still won. They ended up scooping because I just kept playing cards out of my hand, and turns out people leave when you do that. So anyway, thank you for joining me once again. This is my Platinum Dark Magician deck profile. We will be trying to hit Platinum 1. Here is a YouTuber I want you guys to check out. His name on YouTube is I Am Boy, and he only has 1.4k subs. What's the deal with that? Guys, go sub. Go sub to this guy. I literally have just found his channel, and I dropped him a sick comment because he was like, am I the only Plat 1 Dark Magician player? And I was like, dude, your list is really good, and you have really good game sense. I watched a couple of his games. Like, he knows how to play the deck, guys. And this is a great guy to follow if you want some Master Duel content in terms of, you know, Dark Magician. Now, obviously, I'm still going to upload Master Duel content for Dark Magician, but don't just take my word as the Bible. Please go over and follow I Am Boyan. He clearly has a great grasp of the deck, and he's going to have texts that are different to mine that you may want to include in your deck. Now, he is playing the Mahad, you can see here. I was trying Mahad, but I just hate seeing it in that opening hand, guys. I really am trying to minimize those bricky opening hands, so I did chuck it out. But feel free to try it. I don't mind it at all. I was playing a lot of the Skill Drain Torrential Trap lineup before, but as you know, I'm sick of getting dusted, so I've thrown those away. But needless to say, this is an amazing list. He's got a video with a 10 win streak, guys, like in Plat 1. Go and watch him. Go and watch this man. You have to believe me, guys. Just go and see this dude. He's freaking awesome.